Hi there, Malcolm here with my 326th Booktube video, and today I'm freezing my arse off, hence the dressing gown. But I'll also be bringing you a review for Marvel Select Spider-Man City at War, a Gamerverse story. This is a first for the Marvel Select series as far as I believe, in that this directly ties into video game, the one titled Marvel's Spider-Man. Came out in 2018, I believe. It's described as being both a companion piece to the game and a fantastic, innovative Spider-Man tale in its own right. So that's what it claims. What do I think? A few days ago, Batman Arkham Unhinged at you, companion piece to the Batman Arkham City game. And having played the game and got 100% in it, I knew the game backwards and forwards, and I really appreciated the extra stories in that verse. In this case, I think it's on my wish list, but I have not played the Spider-Man game. I don't know anything about it, apart from the fact it does look really good. And this has an interesting blend of villain origin stories and goings-on. However, Spider-Man himself has been Spider-Man for about 8 years or so, I think it says. And he's dealing with adulting, his own place, his relationship with Gwen Stacy, who in this case is the photographer for the local paper. So it's a nice little twist on the theme there. It's normally Peter Parker as the photographer, but Peter Parker, he works with Dr. Octavius, exploring the mechanical tentacle aspect of augmentation. We also have a young, being bitten by a spider, Miles Morales, who for the most part is just knocking around town. Peter Parker and Miles do encounter each other on occasion. There's a common theme that they're working towards for the needy due to Aunt May, but we are primarily focused on Peter Parker as he's trying to balance being an adult with being a hero and having to dedicate huge inordinate amounts of time to saving people from various things and stopping the villains. And then in a way this is quite a sequential read. He starts going up against Kingpin, Mr. Negative, and then Dr. Octopus, while this big bad thing that's gone into motion is being activated thanks to the mayor, Norman Osborn. And I found for the majority of it, it was a pretty fun ride. Characters have their ups and downs, tragedies strike, successes happen, and Peter and Gwen are really struggling to deal with how they can fit their relationship in, with Peter being Spider-Man and Gwen being this photographer and life getting in the way, and Peter's generally distracted by various other things. He's not great boyfriend material, but Gwen can't really let him go, although maybe she should. So there's that sort of thing, and maybe Peter's going to be better about it. It doesn't get too belaboured on that point, but it's interesting that it's in there. But for the most part, I was able to follow what was going on, even though I have no idea who Mr. Negative is. I know what he does in Marvel Snap, but beyond that, I don't know, and it doesn't really explain much about what he can do in the book either. He's got some sort of power, but it's not clear what it is. However, the one thing I will complain about this is it does do jumps. I don't know how much of the main storyline from the game is in here, or whether we have a lot of the peripheral stuff around the outside of it. But there seems to be an awful lot that does take place in here that I'd be really surprised doesn't actually feature in the game. But there's one significant point where Spider-Man's fighting a whole bunch of the villains, and he's being beaten about by Dr. Octopus. And in the next scene, we have him being rushed to hospital. How did we get from him being lying unconscious, surrounded by the villains who'd probably be just quite happy to continue beating him to death, to him having been rescued somehow and on the way to hospital? There's clearly a missing piece of storyline that takes place presumably within the game that isn't in the book. And various other things like that. Certain encounters. I mean, I don't necessarily need it all wrapped up in a tidy bow before we get on to the next story, but there is quite a jump between, he stopped Kingpin and now we're into the next thing. I stopped that, and now into the next thing, and now into the next thing. It's like, hang on, can we not spend a little bit more time finishing off the previous one? Oh no, we're on to the next one, sort of thing. And it wasn't terrible, but I did feel while reading it there were these unnatural jumps. The biggest one, like I said, was not unconscious, he's now in hospital. What happened in between? Who rescued him? Or did one of the villains take pity on him and, I don't know, anonymously call 911 or something? I don't know. And the artwork was pretty good, nice and crisp. You can clearly see what's going on and who's who. There's no confusion as to any of that. Action scenes are quite dynamic. They really jump off the page. I did enjoy it, and it did help that I'd seen most of the Spider-Man films, so I knew about all these villains, or most. So I did know about most of these villains. I did know most of the storylines that normally surround Peter Parker. I'm going to have another look on Steam to see how much Marvel's Spider-Man is going for. In the end, worth buying. Possibly booktastic if you've already played the game and can fill in the time jumps that make no sense otherwise. But pretty decent Spider-Man story for those who haven't played the game. There you go. Have you read Spider-Man City at War? Have you played the game? Comments down below, please. But as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and other YouTube things if you want. And until next time, stay warm.